Hello everybody, my name is Matthew Weeks. I'm the Vice President of Welding Solutions for the Lincoln Electric Company. I'm actually in Indonesia today. We are doing a promotion for the HyperFill process, all of the variations of HyperFill, and in particular, the HyperFill FlexTech Flux Core system. I'm the inventor of HyperFill and hold the patent for Lincoln Electric. So today, we'll be here at Great Dynamic promoting all of the HyperFill solutions from GMAW all the way down to the FlexTech basic system for shipyards, structural steel, offshore oil and gas. Firstly, I'd like to give you a history of how the HyperFill process or solution was really invented. Where did it come from? Well, back in 2015, I did a tour in Japan of all the heavy fabrication excavator companies. And the problem or the issue they all had was they all obviously want to increase production, make more excavators per day. So they said the problem that they had, or the bottleneck that they had, was the welding. And I said, well, okay, can you be more specific? What type of welding? And in particular, all of their robotic welding of the excavator arms and the casts and the car parts. So I said, what is it that you use now? What's your current process that you weld these with? We went and had a look at they had the single arc process, but the issue they had was they were trying to push the single arc process too far. They had the wire feed speed, or they were trying to attempt to turn the wire feed speed up to 25 meters a minute. And we all know that just doesn't work. You get what I call a buried arc, or you get what I call a flooding of the arc area, which leads to defects such as lack of sidewall fusion and poor bead appearance. So at the time I said, okay, why don't you shift to tandem arc? That is the obvious next step. They said, look, Matthew, no, we don't want to go that way. And I asked, what are your reasons why? And the one reason I didn't expect them to tell me was that with a tandem system, you've basically got two arms that go on top of the robot arm. Now with two torches on top of the robot arm, that adds a lot of extra weight. That extra weight then makes them have to buy a more expensive, heavier robot arm. And I didn't think of that. And they said, look, how many robot arms? We've got like thousands of robot arms. So I said, okay, I understand. And they also said, we don't want tandem arc because of the interaction of the arc. It's very hard to maintain, very problematic. Two power sources, two wire feeds. And I said, okay, look, I get it. So at the time, I thought to myself, right then and there, how do we solve this customer's problem? And I don't know why, but at that particular time, I thought, how do we get the deposition of tandem arc, but put it in the same flexibility package, single arc? And that's where the HyperFill process was born. Now, at that time, I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but the concept was driven from that customer pain. How do we take the tandem and the single and make a hybrid? And cut a long story short, we were successful working with some fantastic departments in Cleveland, Waveform Department, Magnum Department, AE, a lot of departments to bring this solution together. So we're here today to go through the three variants, or three main variants of this solution,